Well, my name is Mary Mockler. This is Robert, and Robert is 27 years old, 28, sorry, just turned 28. Robert was born very premature, 3 months premature, and had a very serious brain hemorrhage at birth. And so we were told actually he had very small chance of survival, but he survived, and he's very strong spirit and strong in body. His intelligence is quite normal. It's just that his body doesn't work and he can't speak because his speech has been affected. He was cortically blind and couldn't move his limbs and so on, and with a lot of stimulation I think it helped immensely. So yeah, so he's quite a person now. He's got great interests and loves his sport. Things obviously have changed since Robert has become an adult. For years before, I had support from my mother and my mother-in-law and so on, and now they're quite elderly. I now have home care. I have home care in the morning to help me get Robert out of bed and give Robert breakfast and so on, and that takes about an hour and a half. By the time Robert is, he normally has a shower in the afternoon, because we also have someone who comes in the afternoon, 3 afternoons a week. Just recently we've actually been getting a service to put Robert to bed, so I don't have to do any of the lifting, because with my husband travelling for work, sometimes he's not here, and now the other children have left home, so it's the whole dynamics of the family changes, and it's quite often Robert and myself. At 28, you really don't want your mum to be washing you and showering you and so on. It's just out of dignity, and I think that's probably the big word, dignity, for people with disabilities, because they need to know that they are independent of the parents as much as possible. Am I right? Would you agree with that? I think the problem is that the bureaucracy is not aware of the day-to-day problems. We're in a charity welfare system, and I think that we get to a point now where in a first world country like Australia, people with disabilities should not be asking for charity. They should be given basic needs without having to beg for them. And I think that everyone should be aware, and the other thing is too that the number is 700,000 people with severe disabilities in Australia. They have carers, they have families, so there are a lot of people touched by disability. There are a lot of people who know someone in a family with living with a disability, and so I think that we are all touched by this, and the billions of dollars that the government throws into the disability sector are just like band-aids. If you had an NDIS where it was organised and everyone contributed to a small degree, then we would all be covered and we wouldn't have to go out there and beg for basic services. So the most important thing is that with an NDIS, Robert would be able to choose what works best for him. And that's very important.